Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Ki Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So today we're going to begin with a new topic, very interesting one. It's called the highest love. Right? It's going to talk about aspects of our relationships, what we have with people in this material world. And also, it's going to give us an insight into what is that in this human life we are supposed to be doing. Right? Very wonderful topic. And this is basically a lecture delivered by Prabhupada, which is having so wonderful aspects with regard to Vedic essence of what we are supposed to be, pursuing in our life. All these sessions we are having is by the inspiration of His Divine Grace, Prabhupada, who has so mercifully given us these teachings, who has recorded them for our usage, so that we can all refer them again and again and perfect our lives. Right? So mercifully, He has given these teachings for us. So we owe a great sense of gratitude for Prabhupada for this wonderful contribution. So this topic is going to just give a nutshell what we're going to talk. Spiritual life means to be in association with the Supreme Lord and exist in bliss and knowledge eternally. Such eternal association means to play with Krishna, to dance with and love Krishna. Or Krishna can become your child, whatever you like. Unless one can love Krishna, unless one finishes with love for cats, dogs, country, nation, and society, and instead concentrates his love on Krishna, there is no question of happiness. Very important contrast between what is spiritual life and what is material life. Very important, right? Because right now the life which we are living, which is having a conception of me, my family, my society, my community, and that's it, not beyond that. And a very important question, which most of us will not have answers, is what after death? Right? So, whereas intrinsically, I don't want to die. Given the situation, given opportunity, I would like to continue in this body, and I want to live forever. Right? That is our heart's desire. But much against our wish and will, we have to leave this body and go. So affectionate family members, my husband, my wife, my children, my parents, everybody. We have to leave everybody and go. This is material life. Whereas in the Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures, Lord Krishna mentions that if you can develop our connection with Krishna, our relations never break. If you accept Krishna as your son, we'll have eternal connection with Krishna. That relation of having Krishna as our son will never, be vanquished. That's the point. So, in the material world, the same understanding of what the eternal relation we have with Lord is being imitated. But all of them are having a limitation of this in the material world with regard to time, our lifetime, right? And also so many other inebrities, means so many other shortcomings, which we'll try to understand as we move forward in our presentation. Okay. So the first point Prabhupada makes is to answer a very significant question, which all of us will be having. What is life's perfection? What is life's perfection, right? if one protects a tender creeper of devotional service nicely, then gradually it will produce the fruit of unalloyed love for God. Very philosophical statement Prabhupada is making with regard to the perfection of human life. Perfection of human life. What is the perfection that we are supposed to be having, right? So Prabhupada is telling that if you perform devotional service nicely, the action of, we'll understand all these things gradually as we move forward, but to begin our discussion, devotional service is like a tender creeper. If you can somehow protect the devotional service creeper, right, then what happens? It'll gradually grow and produce fruit of unalloyed love for God. This is the perfection of life, right? Further, Prabhupada says, unalloyed love for God means love that is not tinged by desire for material benefit, for mere philosophical understanding, nor for fruitive results. So again, definition of what is bhakti. Right. So we just now heard. I'll go a little slow so that we understand things nicely. The purpose of, or the perfection of life is to come to the platform of devotional. Every activity should be meant to perform devotional service. So what is devotional service? Devotional service means wherein you conduct yourself, whether it is physically, mentally, verbally, to see that every action of yours, you want to please Krishna. You want to satisfy Krishna. Whereas right now, we are conducting ourselves in a way wherein every activity we want to please me and mine. That's the difference between material life and spiritual life. Material life means there is self-centeredness with regard to me and mine. Right? Aham, mama is called. Me and mine. Whereas spiritual life, devotional service means the center is Krishna. Right? Everything is for Krishna. And if you cultivate this gradually, then what happens? Prabhupada says that this creeper of devotional service, Bhakti Lata it is called. This creeper of Bhakti Lata will gradually grow and produce fruit known as love of God. And what is love of God? Love of God basically means wherein you don't have any trace, any tinge of any desire for personal gratification. With regard to personal gratification can be of varieties, can be of many varieties, like some material gain I want, some personal satisfaction with regard to name, fame I want. It's called material gain. Some profit for myself. Right? That is called material gain. So which means love of God basically means a situation wherein you are not having any trace of personal gain, or you want to, I want to understand the philosophy of life. By it, I become a big jnani, intellectual. I can start speculations. So that philosophical type of search is also a contamination. Right? Like this, when activities are done, any activity I do, I expect some result out of it. And even I study Bhagavad Gita or scriptures with the intention that, I will become more knowledgeable, I will become more intellectual. That is not called love of God. Love of God is free from all such traces of contaminations. Right? That is the perfection of life. Let's move forward. So further, Prabhupada says, unalloyed love is to know God is great, I am his part and parcel, and therefore he is my supreme lovable object. Very simple, right? God is great, I am his part and parcel, and therefore he is my supreme lovable object. Come to this level of realization, understanding. Right now, everybody in the material world thinks, I am better, I am intelligent, I can do this, I can do that, I am capable, right? But coming to the point of realization, I am nothing. I am just a small, insignificant portion of his, part and parcel of his. Means part and parcel means I am very much closely connected to him. I am related to him very intimately. And he is my supreme lovable object. Nobody else other than Krishna that I should love. This is called unalloyed love. Right? So nicely Prabhupada is explaining every aspect of what we are trying to understand. Okay, next Prabhupada says, this consciousness is the highest perfection of human life and the ultimate aim of all methods of self-realization. So why is Prabhupada telling this? Now, with regard to our consciousness. Because our consciousness right now is contaminated or polluted. Right? It is polluted with the understanding that basic contamination is I am this body and everybody else around me are bodies. And my life means to exploit every situation, every person, and every activity, what I'm going to perform for my benefit. That is what our consciousness right now is. Right? It is kama sankalpa sahita, which means every situation I want to see what best I can squeeze out. Happiness for me, sense gratification for me. Whereas the consciousness, when it is transformed for Krishna's satisfaction, comes to the level of unalloyed love for God or pure devotional platform, wherein only you have Krishna's satisfaction as your only goal in life. Prabhupada says that is the highest perfection of human life and the ultimate aim of all methods of self-realization. Right? If one reaches this point, God is my only beloved, Krishna is the only lovable object, then one's life is perfect. So this is not something which is, exaggeration or it is artificial. No, this is actually the situation, actual fact, our actual situation. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, our real identity, Jivera Swarupa, is that we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. Eternally, we are servant of Krishna. When I say servant, or when servant word is used in the scriptures, because in English, in English we cannot express everything what the Sanskrit language it wants to convey in our scriptures. Servant in the ordinary sense basically means, in our understanding, that he has a need, he has something he is lacking, so he has to work under somebody so that he'll fulfill his needs. Right? So with regard to this word servant, when it comes to the context of devotional understanding, actually, Krishna has been providing us everything. If you analyze carefully, the air we breathe, the food we have, the very life sustenance what we are having. If Krishna doesn't maintain us even for a second, we are not alive. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that I am sustaining everybody, every living entity. So this aspect already Krishna is taking care. I need not, I'm not that I'm functioning independently. In fact, I am completely dependent on Krishna for everything in one sense. So this sense of acknowledgement and understanding that Krishna is maintaining me, Krishna is caring for me, I am part and parcel of him, and this sense of gratitude is what is required in our case. Acknowledging and expressing our sense of gratitude. This is called the mood of servant. So if God is my only beloved, God is the only lovable object, if this is the consciousness we have cultured and cultivated, this is the life's perfection. Anything else we think and do is all actually concoctions. It is not going to give us ultimate perfection. Perfection basically should give you real satisfaction. Right? Perfection means coming to the point of real happiness, real satisfaction. This is what Bhagavatam begins. The question which the sages ask in the very first beginning of Bhagavatam is that, what is that activity which is actually really going to give you ultimate satisfaction? Right? Ultimate happiness. That happiness, satisfaction can come only when you come to the platform of pure devotional platform, pure devotional service. That is called unalloyed love. Whereas where you have come to the platform of understanding, God is my only beloved, Krishna is the only lovable object. Then our life is perfect. Okay. And when one tastes the transcendental relationship with Krishna, then one feels real happiness. So Lord Krishna is ready to relate with us in any relationship we desire. Because all the relationships in the material world, as we discussed in the beginning, that is going to last only with your lifetime, it is over. Sometimes even in your lifetime, we change our so many relationships with the modern day situation. We change our life partners, we change our friends, we change our so many things. Relationships keep changing. Whereas with Krishna, our relationship is eternal. Right? The taste of the relationship continues forever. Whereas in the material world, relationship breaks. It is not eternal. Whereas Krishna's relationship with us is eternal, transcendental. Right? Then you have real happiness. That is perfection of life. The devotional creeper will then be so strongly protected that just by catching hold of it, one will be able to reach the supreme destination. So basically, the Bhakti Lata, this Bhakti is the progress in our devotional journey is compared to a creeper. Just like a creeper slowly grows higher and taller and taller. Like that, our Bhakti also has to progress. That should be one of the important functions in our life, that we have to keep monitoring it, whether my Bhakti is growing or it is static. And also, we should not allow anything which is going to destroy your creeper of devotion to be hampered in its growth, or further it will destroy itself. It's like if there is a creeper just growing and there is one animal will come and attack, then it may even die. But there are so many precautions which we have to follow while practicing our bhakti. So Prabhupada is telling here, a devotional creeper should become stronger and stronger by a practice of bhakti, of chanting, hearing, and performing other activities of reading Bhagavad Gita and scriptures and following it. Then slowly what happens, that will make us reach the destination. That is the highest perfection of life. Right? If one climbs steadily up a tree, one eventually comes to the very top. Right? So that's how it is. The Bhakti Lata, or the creeper of devotion, should gradually take you to the highest platform, highest perfection of reaching the shelter of Krishna. Similarly, if one can achieve love of Godhead by catching that devotional creeper, there is no doubt that one will reach the transcendental abode of Krishna and will associate with him personally, just we are associating here face to face. Right? Here, in our present day situation, present context, we see people around us, we see our relatives, we see our friends face to face, we can interact with them. Right? So whereas when we talk about Krishna or Krishna's abode, Krishna's relationship, it looks something which is only not reachable, or rather I cannot experience it. Experientially, you are having a distance. Right? Whereas, yes, maybe existentially it is a fact. It is existing, but right now I'm not able to experience it. Right? Whereas the performance of devotion, Prabhupada says, by gradually following all the various steps in the performance of devotion, there is no doubt that you'll reach the transcendental abode of Krishna. Krishna is mentioning this in different places in the Bhagavad Gita. Right? He says, if you can somehow perfectly know me about my birth, my activities, janma, karma, chame, divyam, because all my activities are transcendental, Krishna says. Just knowing them factually, properly, will qualify you to leave this world and come to me, Krishna says. In one more place, Krishna says, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Antakal. The time of death, if you can somehow remember me, then that will guarantee you to reach my abode. Krishna says, there's no doubt about it, he says. And further, one more place, Krishna says, always think of me. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. Any situation, any given circumstance, think of me always with your mind, intelligence, and all activities dedicated to me. You will come to me without doubt, Krishna says. So, association with Krishna is a fact. Reaching Krishna's abode and interacting with him and having our eternal relationship revived is a fact. Just now, that experience we are having a distance now because we are having a material concept of life. Sooner we purify our consciousness, we'll qualify ourselves to go to spiritual world. So this brings to a very important question, brings us to important question of, okay, we're talking about spiritual life, devotional service. So what is spiritual life? Let's understand from Prabhupada's own words. We just understood what is the perfection of life. Perfection of life means performing or conducting ourselves in a spiritual life centered around devotion to Krishna. When Krishna is the only object of love for us, Krishna is the only, only center of action for us. So what is spiritual life? So God is not fictional or imaginary. He is as real as we are. Right? If we simply speculate, think, okay, maybe because I cannot see, it is fictional. Somebody may say, okay, electromagnetic waves, because I cannot see, they don't exist. But if you have specific instruments to detect them, just like even our mobiles or gadgets, what we use, they're all working on these electromagnetic radiations being disseminated all over the place. Okay, when a message comes or when a call comes, you may not see how that it is being transmitted. Doesn't mean they don't exist. It only means that I am not qualified to see, or rather, my senses are not ready to perceive them, see them. This is the important revelation which we have to little contemplate, because when something is not seen by our gross senses, if we start coming to the conclusion, oh, it doesn't exist, or it doesn't have any factual reality, that is our foolishness. There are many things Prabhupada says you cannot see. Radio waves, how you can see? All India Radio is broadcasting so much of news or so much of information. When you have proper equipments to detect those waves, then you can actually read the things, right? So God's existence is factual, is as real as we are. It's as we are factual. We think this world is factual. God also is factual. Actually, we are under illusion. We are living as if this body, we are our factual self. Although this body is not at all reality, but only a temporary manifestation. A very important principle revealed in the scriptures, that we think that I am real right now. But the scriptures say ours is a shadow reality. A very nice example is given in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 15th chapter. An example of a tree on the bank of a river is given. The reflection of this tree in the water is upside down, right? The reflection is there. Why? Because there is a factual tree standing on the bank. Whereas the reflection, if you take it as reality, that is our foolishness. So we are right now, this material world is considered to be a perverted reflection. Perverted basically means a distorted one, just like the reflection of a tree on in the water, in the pond, will be upside down, right? What is standing with the roots down and the branches up on the bank, in the water it will be upside down, right? When you see. So this material world is called a perverted reflection, and it is an illusion, because we think that this body is going to last forever, but this body is not going to last forever. But our inner craving, inner instinct within us is to see that we live forever, because that is our nature as spirit soul. Sachidananda means the eternal existence with full knowledge and bliss is our existence. Our identity. But right now it is other way. Our body is going to finish one day, and our existence is such that it's filled with ignorance and always distressful situations. So this is our situation. It is not Sachidananda, it is Asat, which means not eternal. Achit means ignorance, and Nirananda means distress. That is our situation. So actually this body is only it gives a feeling as though it is real. But it is not eternal. It is a temporary manifestation only. This we have to understand. Right? What we are understanding as reality is not reality. Something else. It is only a temporary manifestation. We dare to presume that there is no God or that he has no form. This mental speculation is due to a poor fund of knowledge. Because in our understanding right now, we have forms. So spiritual means the general perception of people is formless. So, and there are some words in the scriptures, Nirakara, Nirvishesha, or Nirguna. You would have heard these words. Nirguna doesn't mean no qualities. Nirguna means God has no qualities like material qualities like we have. Material qualities means what? We are born, we grow old, we have become diseased, we die. God's qualities are not like that. God's qualities are transcendental. He has no material qualities, he has spiritual qualities. He has no material form. When you say Nirakara means he has no material form like ours, which is going to, which is having so obnoxious it is, just as one layer of skin. You take out the skin, you see blood, mucus, bones, muscles, pus, urine. Oh, obnoxious. God's body is not like that. It is a form of complete transcendence. Transcendence means spiritual form full of bliss. This is the difference. So the Vedic statements have to be understood from a proper say authorities. Not that we speculate ourselves and come to some understanding. That's the point. So God's existence is as factual as our existence because he is reality, we are shadows. And we take this shadow as reality, that is our illusion. So further, very nicely, Prabhupada says, the conclusion of people that there is no God, God has no form, is all speculation because they don't have proper understanding. Lord Krishna and his abode exist and one can go there, reach him, associate with him. That is a fact. So this is the statements in the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, and all the Vedic scriptures, that Lord's existence is as factual as this world is existing, and we can go there, we can reach him, and also associate with him. This is what the concrete understanding scriptures are giving us. Spiritual life means to be in association with the Supreme Lord and to exist in bliss and knowledge eternally. This is the other way of saying spiritual life is Sachidananda existence. Sachidananda means eternally existing. Ananda means bliss. And Chit. Chit means knowledge. So always to be in association with Krishna, Supreme Lord, and to exist in bliss and knowledge eternally is called spiritual life. Contrary to this, material life means what? To be in association with misidentification of ourselves as this body and everybody else as bodies. And our existence here is what? It is filled with distress, it is filled with ignorance, and it is temporary existence. Asat. It is Asat, Achit, and Nirananda. Such eternal association means to play with Krishna, to dance with Krishna, and to love Krishna, or Krishna can become your child, whatever you like. Let's see. The material world also we have such imitations of, we have family, we have relations, we have friends, we have society. But all this is limited, or rather having limitation with regard to time. We're all having the influence of time. Whereas spiritual life means eternal association right? You can play with Krishna. Mother Yashoda is playing with Krishna. And gopis are dancing with Krishna, right? The Gopalakas are playing around with Krishna. You can love Krishna. Like this, Krishna can take up any role for whatever way you want to associate with him. So this brings us to a very wonderful understanding of the relationships with Krishna. Right? So first we understood what is the perfection of life. Perfection of life is to come to the platform of pure devotional service, wherein your consciousness is only absorbed in trying to please Krishna, serve Krishna. Krishna is the only object of love in your mind, nobody else, nothing else. That is called perfection of life. And to come to this perfection point of life, we have to perform the spiritual life, wherein you are constantly absorbed in acting for Krishna. Krishna means that he is not a material object. He is eternally existing, blissfully enjoying with his devotees with complete knowledge. That is Satchidananda existence. Spiritual life means to be in constant association with Krishna, who is actually Satchidananda, complete Satchidananda. So we'll now try to understand the next principle Prabhupada explains about relationships with Krishna. Krishna can relate with us in 5 primary relationships. As a passive devotee, it's called Shanta Rasa. As a servant, called Dasya Rasa. As a friend, Sakhya Rasa. As a parent, Vatsalya Rasa. And as a lover, it's called Madhurya Rasa. So these relationships of as a passive person, just like I'm sitting on a chair. This chair is giving me service, but it is giving me service in a passive way. Right? Here, anything, we have all these relationships we are trying to experience with objects, people, and situations around us. And these relationships, which we're trying to have with Krishna, they're all in one sense not satisfying us. Rather, with different things in the material world, what we want to do, experience the relationships, is not actually satisfying us. Because the chair is, in one sense, dead. I may tell chair, you please turn like this. It will not turn. I have to, use my energy to turn. In spiritual world, it is not like that. If I say chair, you turn, chair will turn. Chair, it is somewhere distance. You come near me, it will come. That's how it is. Just like it is said, the flute of Krishna. It is giving the passive devotion, means the Shanta Rasa of serving Krishna. It is Krishna is holding it, and the flute is really experiencing that passive relationship. So like that, there are many wonderful understandings. So Krishna can relate with us as a friend, as a child. That is, as a devotee can take up the role of a parent, or as a lover, or as we can become we can relate with Krishna as a servant. Krishna is a master, or in a very distant way we start appreciating Krishna. That is called Shanta Rasa, right? So Prabhupada explains to some extent few of these. Let's get into details. What is this passive? Being a passive devotee, Shanta. The cows in Krishna's abode are also liberated souls. They are called Surabhi cows. So now we are trying to understand the situation in spiritual world. Right? Spiritual life means association with Krishna, where you have eternal life full of bliss and knowledge. Right? So in Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavana, the cows are also liberated souls, but they have taken a form or a shape of a cow. They are called Surabhi cows. In the material world, the cows we see or we have experience, they are also descendants of actually Surabhi only. But here, because material world, the limitation is the cow can give one fixed quantity of milk every day, maybe at one duration of its life, not throughout the life, right? Whereas the cows in spiritual world, Surabhi cows, which Krishna is herding them, they can give unlimited quantity of milk anytime. That is Surabhi cows. Then there are many popular pictures showing how Krishna loves the cows, how he embraces and kisses them. That passive relationship with Krishna is called Shanta. There is Shanta basically means passive devotion basically means a sense of appreciation, a sense of glorification always and trying to Krishna's. They cannot further relate with Krishna in any other way. The plants, the trees, the cows, the birds, the animals, even the river, they're having this Shanta relationship. They are appreciating, glorifying, which means in the spiritual world, everything is living. They're all struck with awe and reverence to Krishna at a distance. Their perfect happiness is achieved when Krishna comes and simply touches them. This is called passive relationship. Just like in the material world, there's a very big celebrity who has come. Then you may be standing at a distance, but if he simply comes and the distance, he'll just wave his hand. You feel, oh, to me he saw and then he waved his hand. It's like that. That is called Shantarasa. Or you have sent a message to one very big person and he responded to you. Oh, very good. Appreciate. Then the next relationship is called servant, dasya. Now, there are devotees who are inclined to actually give service. When that sense of appreciation is intensified, it becomes what is known as, I want to serve Krishna. They think Krishna wants to sit down, I'll arrange a place for him. Krishna wants to eat, I will get some nice food. And they actually make these arrangements. Right? The friends of Krishna, the servants of Krishna want to make arrangements for Krishna's satisfaction. Just like we have the example of Hanuman, who always wanted to serve Krishna every situation. Right? He's the greatest devotee servant of Krishna, or Lord Rama. Lord Ramachandra's greatest servant is Hanuman. Right? Always in the mood of service. Right? Krishna wants to do this, Krishna wants to do that. Lord Ramachandra wants to be happy like this. He's always ready to offer service to Lord Rama. And that devotees, when they want to offer their service to Krishna, to the Lord in different ways, that is called dasya rasa, or the mood of servitude. Right? This is how we can serve Krishna. Next, the third one is called sakhya rasa. The mood of service is intensified, then it becomes sakhya. Prabhupada gives example. Just like you have one driver working with you since last 15-20 years, that servant relationship will transform into a friendship. You start discussing with him something which is very personal. Right? He's no more a servant, he's a friend. Like that. So Sakhya Rasa, Prabhupada explains very nicely. Other devotees play with Krishna as friends on equal terms. Servant means there's a relationship of master and I am subordinate. Whereas friend means equal, right? Both of them will share and have all the wonderful dealings as equals. They do not know that Krishna is God. To them, Krishna is their lovable friend. And they cannot forget him for a moment. All the Gopalakas, all the great devotees of Krishna are all serving him as friends. They only know Krishna. Right? They don't know that Krishna is God. That means that understanding that Krishna is Lord, he is the master, that understanding is one sense covered for facilitation of this Leela with Krishna. For them, Krishna is my dear friend. Right? And they cannot forget him for a moment. Right? That's how it is. All day and night, they think of Krishna first. Very nicely, Prabhupada explains further. At night, when they are sleeping, they think, oh, in the morning, I shall go and play with Krishna like this. Right? And in the morning, what happens? They go to Krishna's house and stand by while Krishna is decorated by his mother before going out to play with his friends in the fields. Right? When Krishna is morning, it comes, everybody goes to Krishna's house, they're waiting. Krishna and Mother Yashoda is decorating Krishna, and they're waiting for Krishna. And this once Krishna is ready, just take him and go for play. This is how their life is. Friends means they want to be with Krishna and play with him and spend time with him. Right? There is no other activity in Krishna Loka, Krishna's abode. There is no industry, no rushing to the office or any such nonsense. Very nicely Prabhupada says, in the material world, we're all busy. We are rushing to our work, maybe industry or office or business, right? And running here and there, spending morning time, getting ready for without activity. Spiritual world, there is no such, Prabhupada says, no such nonsense. Only thing is, morning, they have wonderful relation with Krishna. Krishna's friends are all waiting for him. And Mother Yashoda is also, nicely serving him, right? Like this, everybody is in bliss. There is sufficient milk and butter, and everyone eats plentifully. Everything is enough, abundant, in abundance. Krishna is very fond of his friends. Sometimes he enjoys stealing butter for them. Right? We have heard many first times how it's only joy everywhere, only happiness everywhere. Right? Even stealing butter is a lila, a Makhanchor lila. Is such a bliss for devotees to even hear that and discuss about that. And Krishna is enjoying in such various activities with the devotees. One can actually live this way, and that is the perfection of existence. And this type of life is possible. Not that our life of complete tension and anxiety, or if I don't reach on time, I may be marked as absent for the day, or if I don't reach on time for a business transaction, the business deal may get cancelled. It's all these tensions which we go through day in and day out. Such anxiety is not there in spiritual world. That's why it's called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means anxiety-free life. Kuntha means anxiety. Material world is Kuntha Jagat, full of anxieties. Every step, there is anxiety. Every step, there is danger. Padam yad vipadam na tesha. If you're not careful, if you're not, very cautious, then you will be in great danger. That is how material world is. Spiritual world means no anxiety, only bliss, only happiness. Every situation is only filled with happiness for Krishna. So this is how spiritual world is. Whereas material world is filled with anxieties. This is the difference. So whereas we are entitled for this spiritual experience of complete bliss, complete eternal existence, but we are right now conditioned ourselves to a life wherein we are going through constant anxieties. Anxiety not only of our regular normal activities, even anxiety about life. One day I have to die, I'm growing old, what to do? All such anxieties are troubling our consciousness. So we should hanker for that perfectional stage of life. Krishna consciousness is the process to attain it. So here, Lord is telling, Brother Prabhupada is trying to tell us that we have to come to this perfection of life. That is Krishna consciousness, which we discussed in the beginning of our session today. That is the perfection of life. To come to the spiritual platform of complete absorption of your mind in Krishna's service is the perfection. When you practice like this in this life, Krishna assures us, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. He says, which if you have in your consciousness always me, Krishna says, Man mana, you become my devotee, mad bhakta, then madhyaji, you worship me always. And Mam Namaskuru, if you offer your obeisances, respect to me always, then I will guarantee you that I will bring you to my spiritual abode. So right now, we are doing so many other things other than service to Krishna. That is why we are entangled here. That's why we are suffering here. We are in a prison house. We are going through our different terms of imprisonment in this material world, taking different bodies. So sooner we realize in the human form of life that is a life of imprisonment, and we have to come out of this imprisonment by serving Krishna. That is for our good fortune, right? So this is what Bhagavad Gita explains to us. So what is that we need to have qualification to have Krishna's association? Okay, now I understood spiritual life is a perfection. highest perfection of life. And Krishna association is eternal, blissful, and very much it is, tempting, alluring, right? Material life is all full of miseries, suffering. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. It is filled with miseries. It is temporary world. Whatever you do, whatever way you try to endeavor, finally you're ending with defeat and frustration. Whereas spiritual life means full of bliss and satisfaction. So what is that I'm supposed to be doing? What is that? How can I qualify for this life, spiritual life? Is the next question. So Prabhupada explains. But as long as one has even a slight attachment for this material world, one has to remain here. With the first and most foremost aspect. Basically, any trace of attachment to the material world. Attachment means I want to enjoy life like this in the material world. There's a nice example of Dhruva Maharaj in Bhagavat. Dhruva was insulted. Dhruva was a small boy, 5-year-old. He was insulted by his stepmother that he cannot become the king. And because of the insult, he took it so seriously that he went to the forest based on the advice of his mother that I want to go and ask God, Krishna, to give me a kingdom much bigger than my father's, much better than my father's. That was his aspiration, right? That was his desire. So, but when he started performing devotion as per the advice given by Narada Muni to see Krishna, to ask him for the benediction, in the process of devotional performance, his heart was purified. And he realized that all this ask or the demands of kingdom, enjoyment is of no value. When Krishna appeared, he started offering prayers. In one of the prayers, he says, Sthanavilashi tapasi sthitoham. For desiring a sthana, position, I was doing tapasya, austerity to obtain you, Krishna. But now, after doing this tapasya of devotional service to you, I have obtained a very valuable diamond, gem. I was hankering for broken pieces of glass. So, this is a wonderful example to give us an understanding how in our material life, we are only hankering for more and more wealth, more and more people's appreciation in terms of they obey me, they follow me, they listen to me. Dhana, jana. Then there's also, constant endeavor to impress upon the opposite sex. A male is running behind a female, female is running behind male. This is how the material world is. So like this, our life is only centered around these things. Wealth, power, name, recognition. So long we have even a slight attachment to enjoy in the material world, we will be here. That's why coming to the point of, or coming to the level of unalloyed devotion. Unalloyed devotion means, what does unalloyed mean? Alloy means a mixture of many metals together. Many things together, it becomes alloy. Unalloyed means no mixture, pure. When you say 24 karat gold, it's pure gold. Like that, our consciousness should be free from all traces of any intentions or any other desires, any other motivations other than Krishna's service. Even a slight motivation, it will spoil. So taking the example of Dhruva, finally when Krishna blessed him, Krishna appeared and Dhruva was realized that, what is that I'm asking Krishna? It's like a king. You go to king and ask him, give me a handful of, say, of ash. Right? Going to a king, he should ask something big. That, Dhruva Maharaj felt, I am asking so insignificant thing and it is actually of no value. Krishna I have got now. But even then Krishna understood, you had a desire. So I'll satisfy your desire. You rule the kingdom for 36,000 years. Right? Dhruva was feeling repentant. Oh, what I did. So having this desire to enjoy material world in a specific way is a big obstacle in for going to Krishna Loka. This is the first qualification. So long we maintain any sort of attraction, attachment, it's called raga for this material world, we have to remain here. That's the point. Okay. Next, Prabhupada says, Krishna is very strict. He does not allow anyone to enter into his association who has any tinge of the material conception of life. Spiritual life means no material conception. Krishna is very strict in this matter. Bhakti must be free from material contamination. This is the point which Prabhupada explains further. He says, do not think I am a very learned scholar. I shall find out what is the absolute truth by mental speculation. No, there's again a contamination. There's again a trace. Oh, I am very learned. This very thought that I am a learned person is a contamination. Krishna will not allow you. This is nonsense. One can go on and on speculating and will never find the source of all sources. Right? It is said in the Brahma Samhita, one can go on speculating about the absolute truth for millions and millions of years, and still it will not be revealed to him. Right? So this is what it is. You can go on speculating about Krishna, but you'll never come to any conclusion. So speculation is not the qualification. What is the qualification? Qualification of unalloyed service to Krishna. Nothing, no other trace in mind. Right? So Jnanic or the type of intellectual way of analyzing things is not a qualification. One can rot in this material world as he is and can go on speculating, but that is not the right process. Very wonderful point Prabhupada makes. So here is the process. The only process is Bhakti Yoga. So further Prabhupada explains, Bhakti also should not be having any tinge of material intentions. So Prabhupada in this context explains what is religiosity and what is material prosperity. Lord Chaitanya says that to render devotional service to Krishna is the highest perfectional stage of life, which we have discussed in the beginning of our session. Right? To render devotional service to Krishna is the highest perfectional stage of life. And compared to this, other things for which people are hankering in the material world are like bubbles in the ocean. Very wonderful example. Devotional service is the highest perfection. Anything else in the material world, we are hankering, as we discussed. I want the position. I want to become a minister. I want to become that. I want to earn money like this. I want to become big man. I want to enjoy life like this. I want to have a big bungalow. I want to have this many type of comforts. Anything else, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, is like people are hankering in this material world, whatever they're hankering. All of us want that, this, that in the material world. They are like bubbles in the ocean. Why bubbles in the ocean? Because the bubbles are so flickering, are so temporary, are so momentary that any time it will burst. Right? As though a big wave is coming with a lot of bubbles. Next moment it is not there. That's what material world is. So whatever we are hankering in the material world is having this nature. They are not permanent. But we are behind this non-permanent thing. That's why we are in the illusion. Generally, people are after rewards and therefore they become religious. So with the intention of, I will be benefiting materially, or I want some material gain, if that is the intention with which you perform religion, then that is not a proper way of performing spirituality. People say, I am a Hindu, I am a Christian, I am a Jew, I am a Mohammedan, I am this, I am that, and therefore I cannot change my religion. I cannot accept. Like this, I cannot accept Krishna, they say. They become very fanatical with regard to what they understand. Oh, who is this Krishna? I don't want to accept him. What is spiritual life? Like this, they go on, they have their own way of conception of life. This is called religiosity in the modern day context. With such a materialistic sectarian idea of religion, they will rot in this material world stuck to rituals and faith. So this is called material prosperity. With regard to religion also, they want to have where they can get artha or some material gain. I want money, I want, I want some material profit from this. Dharma is performed to get artha. Artha means money, material gain. Now, this is the materialistic conception people have. I want to go to temple. Why? Because I have wealth problem, I have health problem, I have family problem. I want to solve them. This is the intention with which you want to perform religion. Then that is not unalloyed. It is called mixed, right? So in that way, we are all stuck in the material world. Prabhupada says we are not in this material world, stuck to rituals and faith. Just as a matter of formality, you may go to temple, you may want to worship something, you want to do something, but the real intention of your following of any religion is not to develop love of God, but to get your material gains. That is not called pure devotion, right? So they are under the impression that if they follow their religious principles, they will get material prosperity. This is the common understanding people have. Dharma, artha, kama. People think that I am performing dharma. Why? Because I'll get money, material gain. And if material gain I get, I can enjoy my senses nicely. Kama. And after everything is over, I'll get liberation. Where you'll get liberation? You'll be here only entangled in the material world. That is the point. So, of course, if one sticks to any kind of religious faith, you will get facilities for material life. Lord is so merciful that anything you are following little close to his devotion, Lord is already providing you everything. And he will not provide you other necessities? Definitely, he will provide. So what is the real happiness? How to attain real happiness? If you are simply stuck like this with performing or conducting our life with a lot of material intentions, if we take religiosity to improve our material prosperity, that is not the purpose of life. It will only entangle ourselves. So why do people want this material prosperity? They want it for sense gratification, as I mentioned, for kama. Dharma, artha, kama. They are thinking, I shall have a very nice wife, I shall have very good children, I shall have a very good post, I shall become president, I shall become prime minister. It's all sense gratification. I'm going to God. Why? Because I'll become a big man. I'll get more money. My family will be happy. Right? Like this. If this is the intentions, then that is material prosperity. And when one is frustrated and he has seen that to be rich or to attain the presidency cannot give him happiness, then what he does? After squeezing out all the taste of sex life, when he is completely frustrated, then perhaps he takes to LSD. LSD is sort of a drug. And tries to become one with the void. Liberation, that is their liberation. Okay, all problem in the material world. Enjoyed life, anything, but no happiness. So finally, I'm so frustrated that let me take some intoxicants like LSD or take some other intoxicants like alcohol or something and get intoxicated. And in that intoxicated condition, I forget everything in the material world. I am liberated. That is again one more foolishness. But this nonsense cannot give happiness. This is what people are trying to do. I am so frustrated in the material world. I'm having family problem, business problem, that problem, this problem. To forget that, I have to go and become addicted to some intoxicants. Alcohol, drugs, like that sort. At least for time being, problems are not there. Again, that nasha, or whatever that intoxicating, that, what you have raised yourself is going to come down after some time. Again, same problem. What is the point? Prabhupada says this nonsense cannot give you happiness. Here is happiness. One must approach Krishna. You will have actual happiness. Right? Otherwise, it will end in LSD confusion and roaming in impersonal void concepts. Prabhupada is speaking to, that this lecture is being given to the youth in America who are all drug addicts. They are all experimenting with drugs to reach a higher consciousness. Right? So Prabhupada said, how long you stay higher? As long as that intoxication, that drug is there in your brain, active, it will be, making you feel high. Again, it's a hallucination. It's the imagination. Again, when the drug effect is over, you'll again come down. So Prabhupada said, this is called confusion about the various aspects of drug-induced hallucinations, right? Whereas Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said, it will make you stay high forever. Not that with the drug you go high and again you come down. Krishna consciousness will keep you high forever because that is permanent. It's not a drug, it is the fact. People are frustrated. They must be frustrated if they do not have genuine spiritual life, because a person is spiritual by nature. It is a bottom line understanding. You have spiritual need. Any type of material elements like drugs or intoxicants will not satisfy. It's like telling fish requires water for its subsistence. If you put the fish on the land with all the comforts, what we experience, like having an air-conditioned room or whatever comforts, it will not be happy. You'll be frustrated only. If it's put back in water, it will be happy. Likewise, we are spiritual by nature. We'll be happy only when you have spiritual connection, spiritual association, spiritual, content in our life. Right? So we'll continue this very wonderful philosophical discussion in our next session. This thought process will continue. So, very nice topic today, which we have discussed, the first part of it, the highest love. Because all of us are hankering for love, good feeling and, brotherhood everywhere. But unless we know the real meaning of what is love, it'll only be simply sort of a hallucination or a sort of a speculation in our mind, right? So I will conclude here. If before I close, if anybody has anything to ask, any discussions, I can take up any questions or any comments. Okay. Gupta ji, Hare Krishna. Okay. So no questions, no comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. We'll close now and then we'll continue. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. हाँ जी, अच्छा।